together in case you haven't. Stand up, if you don't mind. Put your arms out like this. Turn one of your palms up to the ceiling. Good. Now close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And imagine that on that palm that's facing up, I place a very heavy book. Getting heavier and heavier and heavier. Weighing down your entire arm. And you might see that book in your mind's eye. You might feel the book as it gets heavier and heavier and heavier. On that other arm, I'm going to tie a bouquet of light helium balloons floating up to the ceiling, getting lighter and lighter. You might see the balloons in your mind's eye. You might feel your arm floating higher and higher and higher. But take a nice deep breath. And as you exhale, take your mind on a mental vacation. Go any place that you truly enjoy being. See the sights, hear the sounds, smell the smells, taste the tastes. Enjoy. Now think again about that heavy book and the floating balloons. And on the count of 3, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, look around. See what you notice. All right, everybody's done that in here probably, right? That may not be the first time. Okay, have a seat. We'll talk about it for a second. I love using that with a group of newbies. If I'm introducing hypnosis to them at a Chamber of Commerce meeting or something like that, it's a great way to kick off a group. Because when they look around the room, then we get to talk about it. Larry, you were almost falling forward with that book. Tell me about that book.
It's called The Rock Between the Feet.
Was I toppling you?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
No, actually, my imagination was doing what you're saying, and the book was.
it was. I wish you could have seen it because,
My arm was getting short.
yeah.
And the balloon.
I was afraid he was going to fall forward, you know. And then the balloons. Tell me about the balloons. Did you feel the balloons? See the
So I
balloons?
want to share this with you when I first started hypnosis. The reason I got into hypnosis because I was always a great subject. Good natural stuff.
Right.
I've been up on stages and it was all volunteer. So the balloon, it was, you said to the ceiling. So then my mind went to the ceiling. So as it went to the ceiling, so my hand needed to follow the balloon. It would be contradictory if I didn't follow the balloon. If the balloon's at the ceiling, and it's tied to my wrist had to follow. I mean, I didn't think this, but I saw this.
Right.
I'm visual, and I saw it. But the book was so heavy that I felt I was going to
So I'm
lose a balance.
curious about that. Tell me about the balloons, what they look like. Or the balloon.
For my birthday a couple of years ago, Anita took me on a balloon, hot air balloon. So it was a nice gift, first time on a hot air balloon. So in my living room, I have this model of a hot air balloon hanging on the ceiling. So now I saw this hot air balloon rising and rising and rising, and I was following it. That was my image.
I didn't tell him to do that. They're always going to do their own work in their own head. Just be amazed at what their head does, right?
Linda will notice, Anita will notice, and we have a book we keep at our office called Metaphysical Anatomy. Not like an old telephone book, and it's bigger. So I was holding that, and it was getting, so I had visual images.
So I'm curious about the book for a second. Were you looking at the spine or were you looking at the pages?
Good, I was looking at the cover and the spine. The spine was thick, the cover was...
Isn't that interesting? Right? Okay. Did you see the, did you see the balloons?
Yes, I did.
What'd you see?
I saw like white and green and pink balloons.
What's the book look like?
And the book is really thick, the spine and the cover, the thickest spine.
Did you feel the book? That's perfectly okay. Now what we know is that you are very visual. Okay? If I'm doing with this client alone, I know that, okay, I've got a very visual client here. We can give very visual suggestions. If I'm in a room with a group like this, I'm going to go around to several people and say, what happened? What happened? Did you see the balloons? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Did you feel them as well?
Yes, I found myself going up and down. And I
Okay.
use that a lot. I usually use it with World Book encyclopedias.
Some people use a bucket of rocks. I mean, there are all sorts of ways to do it.
Yeah,
So
but-
you just want something really heavy and something really light, right? So you both saw them and felt them. Some people are very used to that, Shelley.
It's funny, I never really realized before, I don't see them. I've
You
done
felt
that many times. Yeah, I don't see them. My hands just respond as if they're there. Same, I've been talking to my clients about imagination, and I'm like, let's see. Close your eyes, see an apple. They're like, well, I don't see an apple. I'm like, well, does it have a stem? And they're like, yes,
Right.
but they don't see it.
Try the word imagine.
Yeah, yeah, and I
Imagine that.
probably do.
Yeah, yeah, okay, right. So Shelley is very kinesthetic, okay? So she absolutely does not need to lose any weight, so don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. But let's pretend she comes to me for weight loss. I'm probably going to give her suggestions about, imagine putting on your jeans and zipping them up without any struggle. It just feels so good, flat there on your stomach. If I have somebody who's very visual, I might say, oh, imagine seeing yourself there in the mirror, you pulling up those jeans and they just fit so well, your butt looks so good. Whatever. Creating the visual. But I'm going with their capabilities, their trance state, what they create in their head, the suggestions they're willing to take. Okay?
So if they were in the auditory, would they hear the zipper?
Okay, we're going to auditory in just a second. Yes, we're going to auditory in just a second. Now, that doesn't have, that's just visual and kinesthetic, right? And most people, most texts, will have just that part of the balloon and book. A long time ago, I added the mental vacation. Because if they don't feel or see anything at all, if I see no movement at all, and I say, oh, did you see him? No. Did you feel him? No. So where'd you go on that mental vacation? Yoli, where'd you go on the mental vacation?
Cancun,
Cancun. What'd you notice in Cancun?
the water
What about the water?
was beautifully blue,
Yeah. Anything else?
sand,
Okay. And what about the sand?
it was just very enticing, wanting to walk through it.
What is she? Is it visual, kinesthetic?
Visual.
What do you say you are, Yoli?
I'm visual.
And she tipped us off on that. But now, if I see, Yoli had some movement, okay? If I see no movement at all, I ask about the mental vacation. And often auditory processors will say, I heard the waves. Okay? Oh, it was great, I heard the waves. And then I get to go, excellent. We know that you can be hypnotized because you're not at the waves, but you heard them anyway in your imagination. And then I'm going to give auditory. Am I going to ask them to listen to the zipper coming up? I never thought about it, but I might now. But what I will say is, oh, imagine the compliments you'll get from all of your friends. They notice instantly, and now you're hearing those compliments, okay? It's a way for us to gather some information and use it to our client's benefit. In a group, it's a way to relax the group so that when they walk out, if two people came in together and they walk out, I'm gonna point out in the room, everybody's different. Look, everybody processed that and everybody's different. The way you did it, Larry, was perfect for you. And the way you did it was perfect for you. And the way you did it over here was absolutely perfect for you. But we're all different. We're all still going to the same place. That way, and if I have a mom and a kid or a parent and a kid, I'll do that too. I kick the parents out when I do the hypnosis with the kids. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But I start them out together. We start out talking together. And we always do this balloon and book thing because invariably, the kid, when they open their eyes, we're going to look over what they do. Are we the same? If they're the same, we talk about that. If they're different, we talk about that. And when they walk out the door, they're not saying, oh, you could have been hypnotized. You didn't see it. I saw it.
You did it wrong.
Yeah, you did it wrong. You did it wrong. So that diffuses all of that. It diffuses it in the group. Oh, we're all different. The way we're doing it is okay for us. It's an important thing to let them know. So that they don't walk out of your session or your group encounter and cancel out all the suggestions. They're just suggestions. Suggestions last as long as they're worthwhile. Suggestions last as long as they're valuable to you. As long as they work for you. Okay?